So we've rightfully opened this Extreme Rules 2013 card, in my opinion, with Chris Jericho versus Fandango. There was no real stipulation to it. Jericho's always a good guy to get the crowd warmed up, so I felt this was the right opener personally.
Well, with this match, with the one without the stipulation, it was just more about maybe finishing the feud if Jericho's meant to leave, was the opener to kick it off. The match, it had good spots and that, but I don't think it was the best match, even though I did like the performance.
Yeah, I think it was slightly better than their WrestleMania matches. I kind of expected as they built the feud a little bit more then. It was a pretty nice finish as well with a top rope code breaker, allowing Jericho to get the victory here. So you give Fandango the win at WrestleMania, Jericho the win here, and I think that's pretty much the right way I expected it to go. The crowd were into this one as well, so a solid opener in my opinion. Kofi Kingston versus Dean Ambrose for the US Championship. Firstly, no Shield members at ringside, which was even better when Ambrose actually won the match. The crowd was actually quite behind Ambrose in this one. It was a good match in my opinion. Could have been better if given a lot more time. This is one of the matches that really did suffer from a lack of time. I only got 7 minutes, especially for a title change as well.
Going to Extreme Rules, this was one of the first matches I was personally looking forward to. Not because it was the US title actually being defended at a pay-per-view. The fact we had the Shield going into this, going for the championships. And plus, I had the prediction, which of Kofi losing it to someone better. And that's what we got. Yes, we could have done with more dominance, because Kofi did get quite a lot of offense in. But overall, I was very happy with this match. I'm very happy with the result.
Yes, and I guess now the US Championship is on a Shield member, it kind of has to be more interesting, because the Shield have been booked as this dominant force around WWE, been main eventing a lot of SmackDowns, etc. So you've got to think now the US Championship should at least be a little bit more interesting, despite the fact that this was very last minute in how they did this, really.
I'm quite interested on what ideas they got for Ambrose, what feuds. Kofi will probably get his rematch, but I think the fact that the Shield, one of the wrestlers that WWE are high on, I expect the US title to at least get more importance.
They hyped up the Divas feud of a backstage segment. Oh my god, this is like blasphemy in WWE, isn't it? Even though they didn't have a match tonight.
I thought they were teasing it because there was going to be a filler match in the night, but no, they were teasing it for a Raw, SmackDown, next pay-per-view, whatever they were doing. But I still believe the fact they teased this feud past now, they should have done it when they first teased it, but go Divas.
Sheamus versus Mark Henry in a strap match. You know, I think this is another match that suffered from a lack of time. I felt that they were doing pretty well. There's some innovative strap spots there. There was some also good psychology with the strap. I think this was made a little bit more interesting for me, as I think this is the first strap match I've watched live. But the finish just kind of came out of nowhere. I wish they'd have built to a little bit of a better finish, and I wish the match felt a little bit more brutal than it did. It didn't really feel as brutal as I thought it would be. Just another match that could have been better if given more time. Sheamus ended up getting the win here, which I feel really needed to happen, as Sheamus hasn't won on pay-per-view since, I think, Night of Champions.
Sadly. That was one of the reasons why I'm not really a fan of strap matches. Yes, you can use it as a weapon like Sheamus did. Mark can use it as strength. But the fact when it comes to Extreme Rules, you want the brutality. You want the big men attacking each other, showing their strength, showing their force. But other than that, Sheamus getting a win over Mark Henry. We've seen the feud before. Sheamus getting the win. Good. I just want to know, is this feud going to continue, or is that it now?
Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio in a #1 contendership I Quit match. You know, it's really annoying when these I Quit matches, and when the referee, within like the first 30 seconds, asks if he's going to quit when he's blatantly going to say no, and it really ruins the flow of the match when the referee is consistently asking the guy, do you want to quit? That just was one of my pet peeves during this match.
That is a bit of a shame when it comes to this match. I know it is I Quit match, but when the fact they can just say it out loud or they tap out, so that symbolises them giving up the match instead of the ref having to go to them every time they're laying on their back. It's just, or in a hold. It's just a bit ridiculous, but the match was going pretty well. It had the spots you expect in a Extreme Rules type style of match, but it's just to finish up through it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny also, the crowd were really chanting for Ziggler during that. But this finish, I mean, I guess, you know, we could talk about the match overlap, but the finish is going to be the thing that most people want to talk about. You have Ricardo Rodriguez going to throw in the towel, but Zeb Coulter throws it in for him. And then they go to replay? Like, when has WWE ever done this? mean, they went to replay. Doesn't this just mean that if there's ever a screwy finish again, that people are just going to say, well, let's go to the replay? Like, what?
Sadly, when it comes to the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, for some reason the WWE think that at least one match in the pay-per-view needs a complete, weird, stupid ending. Yes, they've not given it to the main event match, they've given it to this, but still, the referee using a mini TV instead of the Titantron, it get the result given to someone else, switching over eventually. The match was good, but the result, yes, I'm glad Dario got it, but I thought the finish was just all over the place.
Team Hell No versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in a tornado tag match. I don't really have too much to say about this. It was very short, only went 7.5 minutes. It was a quick yet fun match, and the Shield win with that kind of cool double team. This was good for the time it got. I felt it was nice and quick, and I think this was decent. So.
2 out of 2, the Shield get their second win of the pay-per-view, make it the Shield night. This was very nicely done, I thought. Yes, there was times when Team Hell No were getting the advantage over the Shield, and Roman Reigns and Rollins not knowing what to do, but the way it went down, we get new tag champs, so I'm just happy with the result.
One of the surprises of the night, in my opinion, Randy Orton versus Big Show. I really wasn't too hyped for this one. It kind of just seemed like a filler feud for these two. Orton got a massive pop in his hometown, but I think in this match, both these guys did a pretty good job getting me involved into this match. I mean, I think the highlight for me was how they built up to that Orton punt finish, which kind of feels a lot more special now because we haven't seen Orton use that punt in quite some time. He couldn't get the job done with the RKO. What's the only other move that he can use to actually try and finish off a guy like Big Show? It's the punt. So I felt the way they built up to that was pretty good, and this match was one of the surprises of the night for me.
Number one, yes, you could say that the promo for the next pay-per-view may have given ideas of what's going to happen. Orton doing the punch, which is meant to be a heel maneuver, hence why he did it when he was a heel, and the crowd cheered for it. So I was like, if this is an attempt to probably get an Orton heel turn, it's not going to work. But that really put Big Show over a little bit, showing his strength. You can't beat the Big Show normally. You have to punt him down. So the result of this match, nicely done. Orton getting the win. It still feels, okay, where does this go next?
And also, I like the fact that Orton was actually a little bit conflicted. He was like saying, should he do it, should he not? But the crowd would cheer him on. That was good. I liked how they showed a little bit of conflict there with his old finishing move with the punt, etc. John Cena versus Ryback, last man standing match. Pretty hot crowd for this one, actually. Spent a majority of time in the ring, though. It didn't really go to the outside, apart from for the last sort of 5 minutes. What were your overall thoughts on this match before we get to the obvious finish?
Still going into this match, yes, this was the match that you felt was going to main event because of it being Ryback going for the championship and John Cena being John Cena. The match, it had the stuff that you expect, the fight, the brutality, the fighting and the attacks, but again, it was more when you come to the finish that mattered.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I thought this was a pretty good match. I was kind of into this. The crowd were into it as well. We get to the finish where they're on the outside of the ring. You have Ryback lift after a little bit of punishment via either two in the crowd. You have Ryback lifting him and then bumping him through the stage. And you have all these electric spark everywhere. And they're both down for the 10, obviously. And then you go to this cut scene where John Cena's being taken out on a stretcher. Ryback manages to walk out. You know, you're wondering what's going to happen with the WWE Championship. Is John Cena going to be able to defend it? What's going to happen there? You know, it was, in my opinion, a pretty good finish because it didn't give anyone a clean victory. It enabled the feud to continue. There's still one of those kind of like holy shit finishes, which is good. A good way to end this.
Even though the WWE could definitely use this to put Ryback over if the feud continues, but I would like to take a moment of silence while we are silent for the respect of John Cena before he appears on Raw again.
Probably. Who knows what they're going to do there? Whether Cena will take a break, probably not. With that injury angle they did, you'd have to think that they would probably keep him on TV for some weeks, but who knows? I guess we'll find out on Raw. But a pretty good match between these two, I felt. Triple H versus Brock Lesnar in the brand new steel cage match. It's like a foot taller and a little bit more reinforced. And to be honest, I wasn't really too surprised this main evented. I mean, you look at the two names involved, Brock Lesnar and Triple H. They main evented SummerSlam. This has probably been the most intense and personal feud on TV right now. In my opinion, this kind of had to main event, in my opinion. Just so much more to it than the Ryback and Cena feud.
The bad thing about this match straight away, yes, it started off good with Triple H attacking Lesnar, attacking Heyman. That when you get to the match, though, there was numerous times that I felt that Heyman doesn't really have the belief, the faith in Lesnar. Because he's like, Triple H, don't hurt him! Stop! Stop! I was just like, he's Brock Lesnar. He's meant to be able to break out of anything, show that he's a ferocious monster. So I expected more from Lesnar.
Yeah, you kind of felt they were pandering to Triple H's ego here. I mean, you know, Lesnar was selling this knee injury throughout and was begging. You know, I mean, is this really how you want to be booking a guy like Brock Lesnar? I don't know. The match itself was pretty decent, I felt, for a main event between these two. It gets to the finish, though. Paul Heyman low blows Triple H, which allows Lesnar to hit him with the sledgehammer, which was camouflaged in silver, and then the F5 on one leg for the win. So I'm glad they gave Brock Lesnar the win here, as he is going to be with the company as a draw for another 2 years now, so they kind of had to give him the victory here. Once again, like they did at SummerSlam, they're trying to do the sympathy walkout for Triple H, because, yes, that was his moment, of course.
The thing is, even with Brock Lesnar picking up the win, yes, in the predictions and beforehand, I said Lesnar should get the win, but this match has not really gave me the Lesnar feeling. Like, this has made the monster look ready for the rest of 2013, leading up to Mania.
No, that Extreme Rules last year did exactly the same thing, so, didn't it?
Yeah, Lesnar gets the win. At least he didn't lose. But I still don't feel Lesnar from this. I feel that Triple H was doing the brutality stuff. Lesnar had his moments. Heyman weren't really helping Lesnar, apart from that low blow. I don't really feel Lesnar's brutality or monster from this match.
Overall thoughts on this pay-per-view, then?
It had the stuff I wanted to see. The Ryback looking good. Obviously, we need someone that Cena's going to put over. The Shield picking up the win. Orton, I guess, surprising us using Extreme Rules to punt and not getting banned from it. The main event, yes, you put in Cena. From now to WrestleMania, the first pay-per-view, not main eventing. So it had its good stuff, so I don't think it was a bad pay-per-view.
Yeah, I thought this was a solid pay-per-view. I mean, there wasn't anything like particularly bad on this card, really. We had a good last man standing match between Ryback and Cena. A lot of internet fans will be pleased that the Shield have come away with the Tag Team Championships and the US Championship. Orton and Big Show was a big surprise for me. There were some matches on the undercard that suffered from a lack of time, but I'd say overall this was still a pretty solid show. Not as good as last year's Extreme Rules, but I wasn't disappointed with this show either, and I really wasn't expecting. I really didn't have too much in terms of hype for this one. So,
Miz beat Cody, and you had this, you know, thing with Barrett and stuff. The best way you're gonna get Barrett on TV is being a commentator with Mick Foley and Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, and I was hoping Titus O'Neil would actually shine on the mic, but he really didn't. It was a shame, really, because he is pretty good on the mic. But anyway, that's not that important. No. Leave us your thoughts on this Extreme Rules show down in the comments section below. And this has been another video from me, Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me, NJ.
What's up?
The British Fist. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.